Aw yeah, it's time to pull out this bad boy. Wait, there are no Jedis in this? Well then... Now in Rogue One, a Star Wars story, we follow Jyn Erso. She is part of this rebellion when they hear that the Empire is building this massive planet that they call a Death Star that will be able to wipe out all planets. So they decide to make a risk, go off of hope, and try to find these Death Star plans so they can be able to pass them off to the galaxy to hopefully maybe destroy the Death Star. Now look, I was hyped for Rogue One just as much as probably most of you guys were. I was a massive fan of The Force Awakens and I really was excited to just get more Star Wars. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I loved Rogue One. I do not think that this is a perfect film, and it most certainly is a downgrade to The Force Awakens, but it's most certainly a worthy installment into the Star Wars canon. So don't worry, it doesn't suck. But let's get into the positives before the negatives. The best thing about this movie is the fact that this is a war movie. Some might even call it a Star Wars movie. That was a bad joke, but we're going to keep going with it. But I definitely like the war element to this movie. This movie definitely draws inspirations from real wars like Vietnam and movies like Apocalypse Now and Saving Private Ryan. And when we're in the heart of the war, it is exhilarating and it is exhausting sometimes, but it's so Star Wars and so spectacle to watch, and the action sequences are phenomenal in this movie. I really enjoyed it. I also really like the new addition of characters. I think the best one is probably Jyn Erso for me. She definitely feels the most fleshed out. She has the most arc of any character in this film, and you really get behind her motivations to wanting to get the plans of the Death Star. And the best thing about this war element is it definitely gives the film a more darker, grittier, and more grounded tone, and a more less kid-friendly tone. And for me, of course, you guys know I would welcome that with open arms. Granted, though, in terms of issues with the film, I do have a few gripes with the movie. I definitely think outside of a few characters, they don't get proper development or get fully utilized to their full potential. With Forrest Whitaker, I think his character needed more development, and I have questions regarding some of his motivations and some of his backstory. Now, Rogue One may have undergo a lot of reshoots, but I still think it's very cohesive and focused, and it still works. You don't really feel where the reshoots felt in parts, which I think is a big, applause, because a lot of times you'll watch a movie that goes on to do a lot of research, and you're like, yeah, this is not the original movie's intent. Flaws aside, the movie leads to a finale that is a spectacle to behold, and I would honestly say this finale is some of the best we've seen out of the entire Star Wars franchise. It is Star Wars. It is a war. It is epic. It is spectacle. There are moments in this film I just want to go back and rewatch just on a loop, because it's just, you're like, oh my god, if that really happened. Like, I'm still trying to pick my feet up off the ground from the last, 10 minutes of this movie. It was stellar. Overall, Rogue One, A Star Wars Stories, is an exciting chapter into the Star Wars canon that gives you a lot to love. It might not always be perfect at times, but I'm certain that fans will be happy with this installment and will be hungry for more. As the score goes, I'm going to give Rogue One a 4 out of 5. So you guys, there you have it. That was my review of Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Let me know in the comment section below everything about Star Wars and this film. And of course on the screen you can find other great videos to watch. And until next time, I'm the Slash Movie, and you guys have just been slashed.